Hey, welcome back to Cook and Benefits. This is what we call leftover surprise. Not sure what is going to come from all of this, but we're going to cook it all up because I was doing other fun things today rather than go to the supermarket. So the next benefit that I'm going to share with you about meditation is one that's probably fairly obvious, but reduction in anxiety is a really important and highly prized benefit of meditation. And the thing is, now anxiety has become very normalized. So it's just normal to be anxious, and it's really just about how anxious you are and how often you're feeling it. Whereas I don't really feel anxiety at all. I might have a fear that comes up, but it doesn't really stay with me. And so the thing is that anxiety is a signal to us about something that we need to work on. There's some fear, there's some limitation, there's some trauma-based response that we're experiencing. But when we experience too much anxiety, obviously it becomes dysfunctional and we're not able to engage with life. We're not able to move forward. We're not able to activate our natural creativity, certainly not move into our higher potential because it's so limiting and it's taking us out, obviously, of our experience of life as well, and not able to be present. But when there's so much anxiety and there's so many triggers, or there's, a perpetual triggered state that we've got into where the anxiety is just there all the time, then it can really be hard to see the wood for the trees. And so what having a practice that's helping you to regulate does is it really turns the noise down on that anxiety. So you can have the anxiety, it might still be there, but you're able to still function, you're able to still move forward in life. And you're also able to have the space between you and the anxiety to be able to get curious about it, to be able to use the other tools that you have, whether it's you're working with a therapist, whether you're just working with yourself, to get curious about what is this showing me? What is this bringing up in me? How can I understand what my underlying fear is and actually start to work to dissolve that, either with the power of my own consciousness or with another tool, modality, person, anchor, therapist, mentor. But we do need that space, and we need the symptomology, the sensations of the anxiety to come down so that we can really get clear on what is the higher purpose of that. Because everything that the body does, everything in our experience is pointing us towards something. And so that anxiety is not without reason, it's not without value. It doesn't mean that we want to be having that experience, but it is pointing to an area where we can do some more work to become more free ultimately. But when we get locked into that anxious state that is pulling us back from being able to move forward, that's not giving us enough space to get the clarity about what the underlying reason is, then we can end up stuck in that state, perpetuating it, and then making a lot of decisions that's taking us off track from where we maybe could head if the anxiety was brought down. So obviously that's a common one, people wanting to feel more calm, wanting to feel less anxious, reduce the anxiety, get more clarity. And so this practice does that in a really powerful way, because bringing the symptoms down, getting that body into the deeply de-excited state that we get with Vedic meditation, the sense of ease that finally returns, which is like, whoa, where has this been my whole life? Like when I learned, I was like, oh, I guess I've had anxiety for maybe forever. But I didn't call it that because I was born in the 80s and we didn't really have any mental health awareness at all. So I didn't even know I was anxious. I was just like, oh, that feeling is kind of gone. And progressively over time, the intensity of the feeling can reduce, the frequency of the feeling, and then we can really start to work with, and it becomes very clear when there is those final triggers that are there or the anxiety comes on, it's very clear and we can start to work with it in a much more easeful and transformative way when there's a little bit more space. So that's it for my Cook and Benefit. See you next week.